really takes on like epic levels of cinema at that point, in my mind. For me to put people through that kind of grueling process, I mean, literally having actors in those circumstances just raises the stakes when you're watching it. And then the storyline.
I have a daughter. That's her. See if you can find her for me, will you?
You sure?
Let me know she's happy. I think I've earned that much from you. If I was on the outside, I'd be down there tonight.
How do you know Ray? I have to be an ex-con. The man has no friends left in the real world.
The search for the escaped prisoner is still underway.
How's everyone doing?
Oh, fantastic. Fantastic. We're
Great
so
to-
thrilled about Breakwater. Thanks for helping us get it out there.
Absolutely. What a gritty movie. I mean, in every way. I have so many questions too, so I'm glad I got all of you here to talk about it. Dermot, I think you are in your Liam Neeson phase right now because you're just taking names and kicking ass all over.
Thank you. Don't miss Ruthless. It comes out tomorrow. So check that one.
Another one. That's right.
We check back to Breakwater. Which is the
Totally.
following week. So I'm thrilled that I have a couple of knuckle busters in the same month.
You know, ironically, a couple of nights ago, I saw Family Stone. You playing Everett Stone. Very different characters right there. So, well
that's
done.
a beautiful movie. Beautiful movie. I recommend everybody watch that again this holiday. So
absolutely.
So good. Yeah.
In terms of this, I'm going to start with Darren. I'd imagine prison scenes, like, it would mess with my head. Like, that's one place you don't ever want to end up in. What is it kind of like shooting prison scenes, being in a prison? Seemed like a real prison here, too. It didn't seem like a makeshift set in any way, too. Tell me a little bit about it. Does kind of, like, play with your psyche at all? Or are you just like, what is it to be in scenes like that?
Oh, yeah.
100%. It definitely plays with your psyche. It definitely adds a whole flavor to how you're feeling and performing. And what was awesome, is you're right, is it was a real prison. I believe it only shut down maybe a year before us filming in there. So I could actually go sit in cells, and there was still magazines, pages taped up inside of them, stuff written on the walls. So it was crazy getting to just spend time between the shots, actually. And I would go to scroll through different cells and see what was taped up and what guys were thinking about in those times, or what they were writing on the wall. So it really helped me get into Dovey's mindset even more, and what he would have done with all this spare time on his hands in these awful environment that he's in. So it was super cool that we got to shoot in real locations instead of just building that in the studio. Very grateful for that.
Really, a really heavy vibe in there for sure. Everybody sense it. We were lucky to have it, but you definitely feel the kind of the pain in that place.
Yeah.
Alyssa, I think Eve is kind of the rock of the film, in so many ways too. Like, she holds it down in various ways. I'm curious, how much of Eve is there in you? And if you were to meet her at a bar, would you hit off together? Would you like chat it up, or like, yeah, we're probably not, making friends here?
Yeah, I feel like Eve is the type of person I'd want to be friends with. I don't know if she'd want to be friends with me, but I'd try to be friends with her. She lives inside of me though as well, I would say.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Anything specific about you that you really kind of resonate that character had that you possess?
I think the loyalty that she has to the people around her. I would say the care that she has for her daughter, going to the end of the earth for her daughter. That's how I feel when I think about family, or, so it's, I would say that.
Mm-hmm. The passion, the inner passion for the loved ones, right? I mean, I think that's an important trait really to have.
Yeah. I think that it can also, you may do something with the right heart, and it may put someone else in jeopardy. Wink, wink, Ray. Or even, even Dovey in this case. I think that she's also had to learn that being selfish in certain situations might serve her best. Um, so even putting Dovey, she puts Dovey at jeopardy. I would say.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's like you can't please everything all the time. Sometimes you got to pick and choose, right? What's more important or in certain situations. It's a fascinating kind of exploration of like inner self and character. What would you do for certain things, and what would you willing to risk, right? At the same time. I enjoyed that about this character and just like the questions this film possesses. Dermot, this setting here is a character. This location is a character in itself. Like I said, it had that gritty look. It felt like a real town and everything about it. Tell me about shooting on location. You got shot in North Carolina. Is that correct?
In and around Wilmington. And then these guys went as a pair further out, all the way out to Outer Banks to the largely that lighthouse location. So I wasn't even there. When you see the movie, you recognize that my character didn't play in that location. But man, the locations they found, it was incredible. The sort of swampy, saltwater marsh backwater where the little boat cabin was, that's all for real. And even to get us out into there took some effort. All of those locations were scouted so beautifully. And then ultimately with the storyline culminating in our climactic boat conflict. It really takes on like epic levels of cinema at that point, in my mind. For me to put people through that kind of grueling process, I mean, literally having actors in those circumstances just raises the stakes when you're watching it. And then the storyline, then they go into the water and it just goes from worst to worst to, and then the worst has a basement, and that's where they wind up fighting for their lives.
Tell me about the water, the boat scenes. How difficult was that to shoot? I mean, there's no CGI here. We can
no, and there's no manual that tells the filmmakers how to do it either. Sorry, I'm jumping right in, guys, but Darren and I were, it goes down to the human part. How long can you hold your breath while you're struggling underwater? So I've never tried to hold my breath that long in my life. And you're also doing all this, so you're losing your oxygen quotient immediately. So, gosh, just think of that. But then you got to think like the production. We can't really have them doing that in the ocean. So they found a place to the boat, basically pulled it over. Matt Paul sailed it around, got it on a truck, drove it over to a safer place to shoot it. But then, of course, the underwater stuff we did in a pool at the Wilmington College diving pool. But they have to black out all the walls and put part of a mast in there, so that it's just crazy the logistics that cut together like magic. So those scenes took every ounce of all of the crew to do it in every way, and it's phenomenal ending sequence in this movie.
No question. You guys all brought it. Darren, as I'm wrapping up here, I want to get from each of you a take about each other. Tell me what was like working with these two, Dermot and Alyssa. As people, we know they're all good. All of you are good actors for sure, and done a lot of stuff. But as people, what did you kind of take away personally from individually from them, working with them, and you recognize about them as people?
They're the kind of people I want to work with. You put their name on a call sheet and hit me up, I'd sign up in a second without even checking out the script. Because you know what? Who cares if somebody's a good actor at the end of the day? If they're a prick, like I could care less. But these two, I'd hang out with them all day. I'd make great stories with them anytime. It's about being good humans, and they're both truly good humans. And I mean that for the rest of our crew too. We had amazing people behind this film, amazing producing team, amazing writer-director in James Rowe. Kai Kraus, he was all in, our DP. All these people were such great, hardworking people who really care about what we're doing and doing it for the right reasons. So I feel very blessed to be a part of the Breakwater family. I loved shooting Breakwater.
Alyssa, that's well said. Alyssa, what about these two guys that resonated with you?
Hey, Darren. Um, I would say, uh, God, I mean, I could say a lot of the same thing. You know what I mean? One of the main things that I took away, what I learned from Darren, is I really like how he takes a compliment. If someone were to compliment on him on set, he would just say thank you and continue to move on with his day. It wasn't, let me get, you know what it was, thank you. And it was a sincere thank you. And I like how honest he is. You can tell that he is an honest human being, like Darren is to his core. And with Dermot, um, he has so much knowledge in this business, and you would think that if you've been doing it for so long, you might walk away and be like, these two guys, I don't know what I'm, he honors everybody around him. And I really felt um, like he brings a safety to set, if that makes sense.
You can tell Dermot's got a real intention to spread good love and
Yeah. Yeah, like we had some really intense scenes,
yeah.
but him as a person, he made me feel so safe shooting those scenes and trying to just go a little bit deeper, go a little bit deeper. And yeah, I mean, they're like they're two amazing people, and like Darren said, I would love nothing more than to work with them. They're
But I
amazing.
have to answer too. I don't care about the time because you
Yeah,
put
please do. This is
yeah.
beautiful.
But really, you guys, your integrity is incredibly professionalism. Like that's the amount of work we put into acting right, acting as best as we could. James really kept us on task in a way it's very hard for a director to do, and never settled for less than exactly the ultimate you could get in these scenes. Even when it was at the extent of the clock or the time or trying to get more takes, get it better. That's incredible. Darren, you brought that to your acting the way Alyssa mentioned that you stayed in accent character. You also all but saved my life underwater. I was talking about holding my breath that long. Darren would push me to the surface on his way up. He almost never had me himself out of the water before he made sure I was out. So that I'll remember a lifetime, and shows what I've heard you, Alyssa, describing Eve, and you're talking about honesty, integrity, and loyalty. And I see that coming off of you like a radiance. So it really, the production set together three people that wouldn't otherwise ever met, and set our destinies on a path to stay aligned forever. We met, glancing, we made it tight, and we went to the extent we could go on that boat in those physical scenes. What we had to do to each other sticks in my throat. But with each other and safely, it was an incredible experience, incredible, unmatched in intensity, incredible. And the film breathes it and reads it. You feel it when you see it.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for sharing that. That was really wonderful. And like I wanted to ask that because I felt a sense of kinship here, even watching it as a viewer. So I knew you guys had to have an experience together, and clearly you did. So thanks for sharing that. Thanks for taking the time. This was wonderful. A great job in the film, and
Thanks
really
for spreading the word, man. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
absolutely.
Thank you, Jim.
Happy holidays, guys. Thank you so much.
Have a
Thanks.
great one.
Holidays.